Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a universally wearable integrated bracelet steel sports watch that may not have been on your radar. Are you listening? Well, the Omega Constellation has the answer. A long-running model, one of the best sellers from the brand, a constant in the catalog since 1952. It has unrivaled history and heritage, and in this, its Manhattan form, we find one of its most enduring iterations. So the watch in stainless steel is 35 millimeters in diameter, though it is a tonneau shape, so it's a bit unconventional. It wears a little bit larger. It's thin, 10.9 millimeters thick, and then from lug to lug, literally hinge to hinge across the case, it is only 42 millimeters across the wrist. Now, because it is a tonneau profile, it wears relatively larger than it would if it were round. So on the wrist, it looks like a 38, but because of the extreme short lug-to-lug distance, it'll fit on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, maybe even 13. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, it wears beautifully and super flat and flush. Sitting underneath the cuff, it will have no trouble whatsoever dealing with tight sleeves. This is for him, it's for her. It's a wonderfully versatile size. Now, the integration of case, bracelet, and lugs is a peculiar feature of the modern iterations of the Constellation. You can see the joinery on the underside. This watch is somewhere between a dress watch and a sports watch. Now, we go back to 1982, and the 30th anniversary Omega Constellation was the so-called Griff, or Griffin Claw, also known as the Manhattan design. It featured these bracketing griffin claws that clasp the case on each side. Now, several different iterations have been released as the design's been evolved through the era, and it's become one of the most popular selling watches in East Asia, where by itself, Constellation is considered to be a massive watch brand. That's without the rest of the Omega line. The integration of a bracelet with the tonneau case and the Manhattan design gives us something that is somewhere between a dress watch and a sports watch, as this is steel, automatic winding, fairly well loomed, and 100 meters water resistant. Don't count it out. In an era when the integrated bracelet steel sports watch category has never been more popular, this is one of the plank owners, one of the originals. We have a wonderfully joined bracelet that has incredible integrity. There's almost no play in it side to side. We intersperse the large satinated links with polished intermediates. It's seamless. There are no gaps between them. You can't see daylight through. Combination of sleeves and bars are used to fix the pieces of the bracelet in place. And then we have a double folding clasp. It's a sequential close. The logo closes second. Double folding with twin triggers means this one stays shut until you positively release. Press both sides, and it has a little inset yellow gold Omega logo, which is quite attractive. The watch is primarily satin finished, though you can see polishing is used as an accent. We have a bezel, well associated, long connected with the so-called Manhattan design, where radial Roman numerals, including a watchmaker's 4, are engraved in the bezel. The bezel, too, is satinated. Although it doesn't have a screw-down crown, it does have 100-meter water resistance, which makes it exceptionally resilient as a full-time watch that you can wear all the time. The dial has a lovely cross-hatching that creates a handsome shaded effect from any angle, with a chimera-like quality that it isn't the same look from any given angle or aspect. Now, we have wonderful indices that are pinched at their centers, satinated on their tops, and polished on their flanks. Micro finishing that's unexpected at this price point, but quite welcome. Dauphine hands at the center, a little trapezoidal polished aperture for the date, and of course an applique Omega logo. This is both a COSC certified Swiss chronometer and an Omega coaxial, using the George Daniels coaxial tangential contact direct and indirect impulse escapement. So the watch is also a display case back, which is a little bit uncommon on the Omega caliber 2500s, but it fits here because the watch and the movement have a nice symmetry about their size relative to each other. It's a good match. So originally, this was the ETA 28928A2. In Omega spec, it became the 1120. The 1120 became the 2500 when it gained the coaxial escapement. So it's a bidirectional automatic winder. It's got a 48-hour power reserve. It has stop seconds and a quick set date, and it has 27 pivot jewels. jewels. It's substantially upgraded over the basic ETA. One, it has more power reserve. 2, it has a free sprung balance adjusted in 5 positions and chronometer certified. 3, it uses the coaxial escapement. And you can see that the standard of finish on an Omega is much higher than the standard of finish from any given company that might use an ETA movement. So this started as an ETA. It was an upgraded movement in 23 jewel form with Omega as the 1120, and then it became the 2500 in its coaxial iteration, which added the extra power reserve to 48, the free sprung architecture, and the coaxial escapement. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.